Does TD039 or Technical Directive 39 ring any bells?
Yes. And this is the part where we put everyone to sleep now because we actually have to talk about technical things.
No, this is not going to be technical. If you're wondering what TD39 was, it was the regulation that said you cannot break George and Lewis's backs in the race car. We're going to have to prevent you from doing that, and we're going to have to put in some regulations to stop you from doing it.
Yeah, the porpoising.
So what was it?
Basically, it was directive to stipulate the mounting method of the underfloor plank and the skid plates and defining the maximum flexibility of the plank, and also the measuring and monitoring of the vertical forces acting on the cars.
Yeah,
basically that bit's
there was
porpoising. That's the one.
There was two big things. One was the FIA weren't happy that the drivers were being subjected to quite heavy vertical oscillations and loads, which can impact their spine and neck and everything else, and it's uncomfortable and they can't see, and it's not great. This was as a result of the ground effect floor and car stalling. The second part of it was, since we went from 2021, where the cars typically ran quite high rake or nose low to the ground, tail of the car high to the ground, the ground effect cars in 2022, you started running them a lot flatter to the ground at the end of straight. And the FIA got wise to the fact. They were like, why on earth are these people grounding the plank so far back? And they're like, oh, we didn't even make any regulations that stipulated you couldn't ground that much. So they started monitoring that more closely. It looks like this has been done away with. So we've had a technical change to the rules, which the height of the floor edges have been brought up, and something with the throat of the diffuser, and that was supposed to make porpoising less severe. But it looks like, was it
correct?
Motorsport Italy said.
Yes, the world's most reliable source of all things F1, right? So do with that information what you will.
It is when it is, and it ain't when it ain't. You know?
Apparently it's gone.
Okay. So,
but other people are out there telling us or the internet that it's not gone. They've just removed the bouncing porpoising metric, which would make sense. If it, as part of this, like we said, it's the mounting of the plank and the skid plates and the whole bendy floors thing was a part of this. I don't think they would just chuck that out all of a sudden.
No, that makes sense, and that's still relevant. You know, like grounding the car quite far back from the leading edge of the plank is still a mode. That's the thing, and they don't want to exploit that. And I think they were just like, you know what, that metric idea was kind of a sticky plaster to deal with what happened in Baku, and it took them a couple of races to execute it. And then throughout the season, from that article, it sounds like they even relaxed the metric at some circuits, like street circuits, like Singapore. So
yeah, it seemed to be like track dependent, didn't it, really?
Yeah,
depending on the surface of the track, which is something that we theorized. So yeah, who fucking knows what's going on, basically, is what I'm trying to tell you, listeners.
The thing about technical directives is we don't, like, the only time you see a technical directive, it's when a journalist or the FIA publish it. But like, they could be there and we don't know about some of them either. It's just if people hear about them or talk about them, I don't know where to find technical directives. They usually just get kind of stuffed in. But yeah, so TD39.
Even when I was, I don't know, it's probably the same for you. Even when I was working for a team, fucking half the time I never saw them anyway, even being within a team. So if...
Yeah, they kind of came to like one person, and that person, if they filtered them down, fine. If not, not. But so that's partly gone, and maybe it is, maybe it isn't. We'll see. I'm sure they might talk about it because people are going to be getting asked a lot of questions about it. And I think that's completely plausible that they would have done away with that one. But let's
yeah, Twitter got their teeth into it, ran wild with it.
It was probably one of those super awesome copy pasta accounts where you have to look like 7 reply tweets down until they finally cite the article, and they've just copy pasted half the article anyway, which is don't do that.
So yeah,